Funemployment is an emerging trend among Gen Z individuals where they intentionally take time off from traditional employment or right after graduation to focus on personal growth, skill building, and exploration. Today, we have a special guest who will shed light on the impact of funemployment on career paths and personal development. Let's welcome career coach and author of Career Confinement. We have Elizabeth Pearson rejoining us. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Desiree. How are you?
I'm doing good. And I mean, funemployment, I like this. It sounds like an exciting concept, but what kind of impact is it having on career paths and personal development?
You know, what I love about this is it sounds like this kind of like flash in the pan career trend, right? Like fun employment, it's a catchy name. But what I love about what Gen Z is doing is they really are taking like a deliberate and intentional approach to career mapping. I don't know about you, but when I graduated college, it was a race to get a job, start paying some bills so that I didn't have to move back in with my parents. And what I love about this generation is they're saying, wait a minute, I want to take some time to really understand like what it is that I actually am good at and what I want to do instead of just hurrying with a scarcity mindset and defaulting into some career path that maybe isn't what they actually want to do long term.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you and I are the same. When I graduated college too, it was like, I need to find a job now. And I like that Gen Z is taking the time to really make sure that the career they choose aligns with their wants. So let's get into the juicy part. What unique opportunities does this present for Gen Z individuals?
Yeah, I think that they can take the time to like give back to their community. They can volunteer, they can take online courses, they can say, you know what, maybe I want to be a photographer, but maybe they really haven't had any hands-on opportunities to actually live that life for a day. So I think it's great to find a mentor that you can shadow, go with them, you know, throughout their week, throughout their day, and see what it would really be like to work in a certain industry or in a certain role. The other thing that they can do is they can take some time for some self exploration. So I think it's great to get in alignment with what your purpose is, right? And that can be really daunting to think about at 22, 23. But I think that it's a really great use of time. I don't know about you, but I had, you know, when I graduated, there were the kids who maybe did some backpacking. They kind of like went out and explored, and they didn't have a lot of money, but they were just kind of like getting to know themselves for a year.
Yeah.
And I think that it depends on maybe your background or what your family's urging you to do. But I don't think there was a lot of urging to like go find yourself before you started into your career. So I think that there's a multitude of things that you could do so that you can feel a little bit more intentional when you finally do settle into a job.
Yeah, and people are finding those later on in life, but if they can start that earlier on, I think, like you're mentioning, there's a lot of beneficials to that. And I'm trying to wrap my head around this because fun employment, that self-discovery, it sounds really cool, but like you mentioned, when we're graduating college, we're trying to pay the bills. So who can really kind of afford to do this, especially graduates right now?
Yeah. Well, I think right now, one of the silver linings we could see on like the job market, and there have been some layoffs, and it is a little scary out there, is that there's plenty of like fractional work, and they call it like the gig economy, right? Like you could just dabble in things, you could freelance, but a lot of these things, once you put them all together, could actually hopefully be enough to live on and pay your bills. Because I'm sure there are some viewers who are like, I have a child and I don't want them moving back in. I don't want to enable them to just live on my couch for the next 10 years. So I am going to push them to go get a job. But what I would say is maybe see it as this is their opportunity to do it a little bit different than our generation or the generation before. Because like you said, the people that I coach a lot of time are people who climbed the wrong ladder. You know, they went really hard into a career path and then they get to be 30, 40, 50, and they're like, oh my gosh, this isn't fulfilling and this actually isn't what I want to do. So I think it's more about like providing support to this generation and encouraging them to take this time, and they can piecemeal some stuff together so that they can live off of it. There's plenty of opportunities for gig work, freelancing, stuff like that while they're in this stage.
Yeah, any final tips when it comes to fun employment and maybe how other generations like mine and yours and many others out there
Yeah.
can adapt and use this moving forward?
Yeah, I think we shouldn't be afraid of taking a little break. I don't know about you, but I was always really scared that if I got out of line,
Yeah.
especially as a woman, I was never going to be able to get back in at the place that I was. And so I put off having children. I put off having all of these things because I didn't want to get out of line and lose my spot.
Yeah.
But I think what's really awesome about this and what we can take and other generations can take is I think instead of maybe looking at this generation Gen Z is like with judgment of like, why aren't you doing it like we did? Why don't you have the same hustle? I think we should really embrace it and say maybe they know something we don't. Maybe
Hmm.
we should be innovating and redefining what our career looks like. And in that, we can give ourselves a little break to take time to ourselves and explore for us. What do we really want?
Yeah, it's important to fill our own cups instead of just always being in that rat race mentality. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us this morning. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more information. You can go to elizabethpearson.com.